Okay. Hi, everybody. Some of you get here really early. I'm never early. Fun thing to do in the morning? Not talk to me. By now, I'm fine. You can talk to me now, but I'm good. Hi, Fuzzy. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Terry. Hi, Keeks. So if you're watching on YouTube, just scrub forward until you see some stuff start happening. I'm going to try something I've never done. I'm going to go ahead and try that thing that Dee Dee showed this morning. With the crumpled paper. Oh, which reminds me, I was going to take the edge off of this, and I'm just going to do it on some mixed media, that B mixed media paper that you can get for dirt cheap down at the Walmarts. Hi, Brenda. Because the paper, well, here, let me, hi, Dee Dee. Hang on, let me get this off first. Dee Dee found it and showed it on her show, and it looked very cool. And I thought, won't kill me to try it. I've made a bigger fool of myself before. So, but anyway, this girl, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Akinan Ishio, yeah, something like that. Kat had found the link. Hi, Christina. Hi, Missy. But she crumples up the paper and then uses a gold pen. I don't like the gold paint pens. Hi, Bossy Butt. So glad you're home, and I'm glad you had a good time. It looked amazing, very amazing. So I'm glad you had fun. Hi, Kat. But anyway, this girl is obviously so flippin' talented. If you look through her, let's see if it'll let me go to some of her other stuff. And her work is dimensional, and she leaves it dimensional, all crumpled up, and then pours resin on it to make it hard, and you can click on it. Yeah, she does some amazing stuff. Let me go to her page real quick. I think it'll let me. So now I'm obsessed, and here, and she, of course, her drawing. Look at this drawing. Can you see? The girl has some mad talents. Hi, Laverne. So, but yeah, that's what I'm up against. So lower your expectations going in, if you don't mind. She does it on black too, which I like the gold on black. Come on. But can you see how it's kind of shiny? And she shows in a gallery. Hi, Kathleen. Because a lot of her work she shows hanging on the wall in the gallery. And, you know, I'm not going to start hanging this crap on my walls because then I'd have to dust it. Hi, Vale. And yeah. But still, it looks very fun, very cool. So yeah, we're going to try that. And then if we fail at that, we'll try something else. What the heck? Because I really had no plans going in. But here's kind of her method. She crinkles it all up. You would, Dee Dee, if you hang that crap on your walls. Wouldn't it collect dust? And sometimes she just leaves them with the lines on it. So I think, you know, you can decide what you want to do. And then if I didn't do that today, let me see if I can find the other one I saved. Because I was going to do Instagram inspired something today regardless. So let me see if I can find the other one I saved, which I thought was very cool. Kind of me, because you have to use a compass. And this is one. Looks like a color wheel. But using the compass is what really got me. And then she does like a curly Q line. Hi, Esther. I wanted to tell you that I bought the white gold silver Panafly pens and love them all. I know, right? Honestly, if you've been doing this any time at all, you have been so frustrated with white pens. Not so much the gold, but I've never used gold much. But yeah, they're all so, some of us call it dust and some of us refer to texture. Oh, I'm going to use that. Anyway, so she does this curly Q line and then turns it into like a color wheel. And I thought this was very cool. So, well, I'm glad you liked the recommendation. I did not find it. I can't remember who showed it to us, but I bought them and I have not had one moment's disappointment. But I like this kind of stone looking art, but I like the color wheel thing of it. And Barbara, I still pick up and read that that book you sent about color. That is such a good book. So that was the thing I was thinking of, and then I thought, well, I don't know. This crumpled up paper one looks very cool. So yeah, cool thing in the morning. Look at that camera. Okay, it finally focused. I was gonna have to get out my focus, you freak. So I was thinking, and I don't really have anything else to show except Keeks. Thank you very much. I think Keeks came in. If it collects dust, it has to go. That's kind of how I am, Katie. If I have any knickknacks or anything like that, I put them in glass cabinets. And they still get dusty, mind you. And then maybe like once a year when I decide to do spring cleaning, I collect up everything. And this is the truth, you guys. If it can't live through a trip through the dishwasher or the washing machine, it can't live at my house. That's just, there's a couple things that I'll dust separately, but otherwise I get a box, I collect it all up, take it into the dishwasher, run the dishwasher, let it dry, and then put it back. And that's my idea of dusting knickknacks and crap. I don't like dusting knickknacks and crap, so it can't live at my house. Same thing with like blankets or anything that you have around. Got to be able to go through the washing machine or it can't live here. Hi, Shaz. Anyway, Keeks, to answer your question, I got this fun, happy mail from Keeks. It's like a mixed media piece. I think that's a napkin in the background and then stencil and the gold paint, obviously. And if you're new here, when we talk about the gold paint, we're not talking about the gold Panda Fly pens, which are also awesome. Hi, Starla. It's this gold mica. And I think this is somewhere between $15 and $20 for this little bottle. It lasts a long time, but it is the most amazing gold if you want to incorporate it in your art, if you like gold. So just saying, that's what we're referring to when we talk about the gold paint. They also make it in silver, and I also bought the graphite. I haven't used that graphite yet. I need to do that. But anyway, she wrote me a sweet note that says Queen Janet, which thank you, Keeks. I like getting mail for the Queen. Thinking of you. Hope your spring is going well. It's going much better. We haven't had severe weather in the last few days, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any this week. But last week, every day we had severe weather. And Starla was getting severe weather too. So Starla only lives about 4 hours from me. Maybe, no, further than that. You live about 6 hours from me, Starla. But we could meet halfway. But anyway, Keeks, thank you very, very much. And I like the postage, so I'll scavenge the postage. You just clicked live? Yeah, I just showed it. So hi to anybody I might have missed coming in. Look at Kat, man. That girl on those links, man. She's on it. On it. And it would crack me up this morning because Dee Dee just said, and Kat will get the link. Like she didn't even imply that Tina and I might go do that. That's how spoiled you've made us, Kat. It's your fault. I blame you. Thank you. The Queen Bee, of course. I got a beautiful neurographic design instantly installed on my windshield coming back from, oh no, Brenda, I'm so sorry. I have one on my window too, and I have not gotten it fixed yet. And down here, if you live anywhere where there's snow, where they put rock on the road, you never have an intact windshield. But one time when Robert and I were coming back from Joplin, I got behind a truck and he pulled out in front of me, which kind of hacked me off. But I tell myself, calm down. You're not in a hurry. You don't have to kill anybody today. And then I don't know if he sped up, you know, because he knew he cut me off. Anyway, he threw a rock and I've got a round thing on my windshield about that big. So I need to make an appointment and go to Safe Light and get it repaired. It's 35 degrees there, snowflakes falling. I'm not complaining, Barbara. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to live in Canada. But no, it's been beautiful down here. So no severe weather, nothing like that. So I'm really good. And you know what? I never did post on Instagram because I suck so bad. And Dee Dee gives me enough grief for everybody, so don't feel like you have to do it too. I don't know if I showed that after I got it finished. Did I show it after I got it finished? And then I did the another stone looking one. I don't like the colors I chose for this one, but it's kind of what was on there. And this was also, and both of these were inspired by something I saw on Instagram. You can stay busy for a lifetime just doing junk that you see on Instagram, I swear to God. And a lot of it's very simple. But yeah, so I did go ahead and do those. And then yesterday I was just after church, seemed like a long afternoon to me. But anyway, so I just started doodling this that I'd seen on Instagram, and it's not done yet. But I think it's going to turn out okay. But there's somebody who does this membrane art that I follow, and I'm always amazed. Hers, the membranes are more defined. So I'm going to try it again. Hi, Joanne. Thanks, you guys. But yeah, this kind of goofy membrane stuff, I don't know why that's so appealing to me, but it is. You're going to have a nice 70-degree day. There you go, Kathleen. That's the way to live. But anyway, these are really fun. So I don't mind doing them on stream. And I try and be good about giving credit where credit is due. And I need to start writing on the back. I thought I did. Okay, this one I did. Inspired by Blair Illustrations. And then this one, I didn't write it down. But I could find it if you need it. Thanks, Joanne. You saw which one? You saw this one, the membrane one? Chances are we're all getting fed the same stuff because we all follow each other, you know? But anyway, and I'm not crazy about these colors either, but I was just sitting here killing time because I'm literally sitting here waiting until I could start cooking dinner. That's my life. Fill up the day until you can fix something to eat. That's my life, and I'm going with it, man. So anyway, if you came in late, I'm gonna do this crumpled art inspired by Ikinan Ishio. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I'm not probably too far bad. Now she does hers. She makes it dimensional and covers it with resin, and it's very cool. Very, very cool. Thanks, Devin. So I just thought I would try it because, one, I've got the paper and the gold ink, so why not? There's no good reason not to. Dee Dee showed it in her stream this morning, and this girl is uber inspirational, I have to say, and very, very talented. Come on, focus, you freak. Sorry for the burger on the window. Focus, you freak. There you go. Oh, I think you can, if you're getting 70-degree days, yeah, you can go ahead and plant. I need to go pick out my plants. Thank you, Kat. Yeah, we're not going to get a freeze now. In fact, our Bermuda grass has come out of hibernation, which means the ground temperature is above 60. Safe to plant. Go for it. Okay, so this is just Kaka mixed media paper. That's why I put this down so the damn camera will focus. Yeah, this is B mixed media paper, and it's not cardstock and it's not text weight. So it's somewhere in between. And I thought, well, that might be a good weight to do this on. The one I showed you, the girl who inspired me, Akin, I'll just call her Akin. You can tell when she's crumpling the paper that it's obviously heavier weight than just a text paper, and cardstock I think would just be too hard. So go give her a follow. This is a little bit harder to crumple than I thought too. You were in the 50s last week. Yeah, that's probably about where we were. It was a little chilly last week. Hi, Joe Lou. And I don't think you want to get it real crumpled. You know, you got to have space to work in. So I'm just learning. So don't look to me for real instruction here because I have no clue what I'm doing. I just blame that damn Dee Dee. Hey, Dorothy. Terry, you can get started on this, okay? And then I was thinking, okay, she used that gold paint pen, which would be, you know, obviously, since she's using it, definitely useful. But I wanted to use this gold mica. So I thought, okay, what's the best way to apply that? And I was thinking, well, do I want to do, like use a Q-tip or something like that, you know? And then I got thinking, no, knucklehead, which is me. I could use this fine liner that Starla sent. And I've shown this several times, and I'm not that adept at that either, but what the heck? What do we care? And I don't want to flatten it completely. And I don't, some of hers, oh, and I tore the edge. So, and she does tear her edges too. And I thought that would be cool because some of them she curls and then paints the backside gold, you know, kind of like a frame, which I thought was very cool. So we might end up doing, in fact, let's just do it. We'll just tear the edge so we don't have a straight edge. And if I tore anything, who cares? Ain't nobody's business but my own. So yeah, we won't be using a square with a straight edge, which is really unusual for me. Hi, Sharon. Love me some straight edges. And I did get this stuff out in case I get bored with this or if it's just an absolute utter failure. I did get the compass out to do that other one. So if you get bored and you're saying, ah, this is boring as hell, could we do something different? I'll just pull that out and work on that. Torn edges makes it look all artsy-fartsy and stuff, I think. And why not? So some of her, she does like Zentangle in. So I thought, well, I'll try that. But I haven't decided yet if I want to do the inking on the inside in black or keep using the gold. If I do gold Zentangle, I will probably switch over and use the Pandafly pen because it's just easier to control than the fine liner. I need a lot more practice with this, so today will be a good practice with that. So here's our substrate. And I guess if you wanted more wrinkles in a certain area, you could just scrunch it up like that. And I'm not sure if I'm going to Zentangle in it. I may want some big spaces. Question, how does one assess what is boring as hell? Barbara, it's it's a brain thing. Your brain just knows. I can't give you further instruction than that. But I know sometimes when I turn on TV, I just go, oh, this is boring as crap. We're not going to watch this. Your brain just decides, okay, I'm going to start in one corner and work my way down so I'm not getting my hand in the ink, right? Because I'm famous for that. So let's just, all right. See, I'm already hesitant. Ugh, I can't be hesitant. I wanted a better crease to start with. I think I'll get the hang of it after I do this. And remember, I've never done this before, so you just try not to be too harsh with me. I guess I should get this started off camera. One nice thing about this mica ink, paint, whatever you want to call it. And if my hand is shaky, I don't even care because I think that just makes it look cool. But one thing about this mica gold, it dries pretty quick. Now I'm putting it on pretty thick, so it's going to take a little bit longer. But it's surprising, like when I draw with it, how quickly it dries. So, and I don't know how you decide which creases you decide to emphasize and which you don't. I guess that's just part of the whole learning curve. I love trying new stuff, though. I'm not sure I love trying it on stream when you guys can just make fun of me. But you have plenty to make fun of me about, so this will be really no different. You guys, when Dee Dee was showing those zines this morning, I was cracking up. I forgot how funny I am sometimes. But when I did that beauty poster and her positions were killing toads and world peace, there's a word for it. Just the dichotomy there absolutely cracked me up. On one hand, I want to get rid of the frogs, and on the other hand, I want world peace. That sounds like the crap we hear on TV. Somebody needs to stop the rhetoric. Okay, and then what do you do next? I'm not going to stop the rhetoric. That's it. Y'all are a bunch of freaking losers. Not you guys in chat. I mean the people that I'm talking about. Yeah, so far this is fun. And this fine liner is working awesome. I'm not pushing. I'm just letting the ink flow. And it seems to be flowing really consistent. Thanks, Jill Lou. They were cracking me up. Hi, Vanessa. I haven't. The only time I look at those zines is when Dee Dee shows them. I don't get out my zines and stuff and look at them. But I got thinking, probably I ought to look for the originals. They've got to be around here somewhere. And make some copies and send them out as giveaways. Because some of those are pretty damn funny. And another thing is Dee Dee and I did get to talk for a minute. I swear to God, somebody doesn't want Dee Dee and I yakking. This morning, the call was cut off. I tried to call her back, wouldn't connect. She tried to call me back, wouldn't connect. But anyway, I want you guys to be thinking about, because we're willing to do either a zine swap or an ATC. I think Joanne stated very clearly that she would prefer an ATC swap. I don't care. But go ahead and let Dee Dee or me know. One, if you're interested in doing a swap, and if you are, would you prefer ATCs or zines? And a theme. I think a good theme is what makes a swap a success or an abject failure. I think I'm going to, Joanne, I made myself a note to try and find the originals of the zines and see if I couldn't get copies made, and then occasionally do a giveaway of something that you guys might like having. Because some of those zines are just damn funny. I'm sorry, they were funny. But I have a real dry sense of humor, so yeah. What makes me laugh is not necessarily what will make other people laugh. You'd like to try a zine, Keeks? They're very funny. Okay, Starla's saying ATC Spring. Dee Dee, could you write notes if you're not shoving food in your face? If somebody puts an idea in chat. Spring ATC would not be bad. If we had a holiday, holidays are always good. And when you do the ATCs, depending on how many we decide to swap out, we've done up to 10, where if you're going to get 10 back, you have to make 11 because the host gets to keep one. This is cooler than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be tedious and icky, but it's not so bad. But a good theme makes all the difference in the kind of art you'll get back. So by the time we get it organized, Starlight, maybe summer. You were dreaming this morning? Conspiracy chicken! Did you write that down? You have a nice Zen-tangle box. Yes, you do, Dorothy. Have you used it, or is it just sitting there collecting dust? Don't put that in the dishwasher, by the way. It won't make it through a trip through the dishwasher. I did make a box and did a giveaway, and Dorothy won it. So I had to send that to the UK. I was happy to do it, though. I'll just bitch about it forever. And apparently, if your hand is pretty unsteady, it works for something like this. Some of the wrinkles just stop midway, so that's cool. This is almost like cheater neurographic, you know? And other than that, I haven't been doing virtually nothing. It was too cold to go outside and work last week, and I haven't been back out to the garage to finish that project because it's just, I'm not going out and getting cold. You like it? You're going to try it? Cool. Yeah, I like it so far. Now we'll see what I do inside of it to decide if it's keep worthy. Know what I mean? More than anything, I like stuff like this where you get to use your product in a different way, or Tina, is that you? Or Dee Dee? Looks really cool. Yeah, I agree with Dee Dee. Repurposing your art that you don't know what to do with is a great idea and pretty fun, you know. And I'm really not pressing, so I don't know if it looks like I'm using a lot of product, but I don't think I am. But this little fine liner is awesome, Starla. I think I'm finally getting the hint of it a little bit. Or the hang of it, I guess. When I very first got it and tried it, the one thing I liked best about it was you could make very, very fine lines, which I couldn't do with my ruling pen. So I thought, oh, this is going to be perfect. But honestly, I think this is going to have a ton of uses, especially if I get addicted to doing something like this. And Terry, I was going to ask you, I meant to write you a message last night and ask you if you've seen, I've done some art on stream that was inspired by an artist named Art Salute Beginner. And she, I don't even, she scrapes paint and I don't know. It's a very unique style. It's hers and hers alone. I've never seen anybody even come close. But she uses heavy body acrylic and then leaves dots and then scrapes some of the paint and stuff like that. Did you see that she's started adding some new elements, Terry? And that last one she did, and on Instagram she's called Art Salute Beginner. And there might be an underscore, I don't know. But anyway, I love some of those new elements that she added. Still the same basic kind of art. Just using some different materials and different techniques. And I thought, okay, now I'm going to have to try that again. Yeah, make copies. There's a bunch of my stuff I wouldn't mind just repurposing, because I don't get it out and look at it often. So yeah, to revisit it again, that would be fun. I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but I've been really lucky so far that I haven't set my hand in the ink. And if drawing on it while it's crumpled is hard for you, oh, good idea. Thank you, Christina. I hear you, man. It's just sitting there drying out. So if you came in late, I've never done this. Dee Dee showed it this morning. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it other than learn something. I'm already learning that I'm more adept with this little fine liner than I thought I was. So that's kind of cool. So far I'm learning that I can do stuff without getting my hand in the ink. But the thing is, when you're doing this, you don't even have to think, because all your initial lines are already planned out for you because of the crinkles, right? So it's like you don't even have to think, just start doing this. And then when it comes time to work on the inside, I think I'm going to do some Zentangle on it. Maybe not the whole thing, but just pieces here and there. And I kind of want to do it in black so that the gold really stands out. What do you guys think? And the thing is, don't ever forget, it's just ink. Hi, Joan. Oh, no worries. I'm glad you showed up late. Because most of the time, if I show up late, it's because I didn't want to come. if you know what I mean. Oh, you guys are leaving already? Oh, dang, I'm sorry I was so late. Sucks to be you. But if drawing on the crumpled paper is disconcerting, I think you could iron it or dampen it and lay it out, press it under a book and get it flattened. Hi, Mary. Just tangle in the sections. Yeah, that's what I thought, Dee Dee, is I could just do it with a fine line black so that it does, you know, if I use a bigger nib, of course, it's going to be blacker. And the Zentangle may take over the whole thing, which I don't know. I coming in here without a preconceived idea. Does it really matter? And my guess is like that stuff up there is probably already pretty much dry. So I think I can work on it without having to just heat gun it to death. And if I keep doing it like this, moving down the sheet, oops, I should be able to keep my hand out of the wet ink. Kind of funky looking, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's like a string for Zentangle that you couldn't plan. Not that I plan them anyway, but you couldn't come up with something like this in a million years if you tried. And drawing on these cracks is not at all anxiety producing. Thank you, Kat. Do the really small areas solid black. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And also I can go back in as I'm working on it because I'm not doing all the creases. The smaller ones I'm leaving, I can go back in and add them as I'm completing it. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, now I'm getting ready to play with fire. Yeah, this fine liner is awesome for this. And if I wanted thicker lines with this fine liner, all I'd have to do is press. I don't know how much ink I've got in there. I still got plenty. And I could probably get as thick a line as I really wanted. And see, right there, I press. So I may go back in here and there and just press a little harder and get some more gold. In certain areas too. And Terry, you don't have to point out to me the wrinkles that I missed, because that's what I do when I look at myself in the mirror. Ugh, ignore those wrinkles. Gee, you scare the hell out of you, girl. My one grandmother was very wrinkly, and I think I'm taken after her. Thanks, Dee Dee. Because I have more wrinkles than a girl my age should have, I think. And don't worry about using up your product, because You can always just order more, you know. I know I'm spoiling your fun. I know you like to point out when I goof up. What the hell? You need to be doing this, Terry. You shouldn't be having time to be finding my screw-ups. I think it's very cool looking. Oh, okay, I didn't see the beginning. Was just thinking ink pad across ridges as you crinkle, but it would not. I've done that before, Mary. I used a stamp pad across the wrinkles. If you do it on tissue paper, I was using brown and it turned out very cool. But yeah, that is an option for sure. I think it would work if you could do it before you lay it flat, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I've done that before. Looks very cool. I should try and find that one that I did, and I think I did a honeycomb on it. And it came out really, really cool. But yeah, that is a way you could do it. But I don't think it would turn out like this for sure. Because I was thinking I could just rub, you know, like get some ink on a Q-tip and rub it over. I don't think it would be the same. One, your lines would be pretty inconsistent. That one was just screaming at me. Paint me, paint me. But I don't know, that if you don't have a fine liner or some other application method, that's probably where I would start, is either like a foam pad or a Q-tip or something like that. And try and do a really light touch where it just kind of skimmed the top of the wrinkles. I don't know. I may end up addicted to this because I just like the way it's coming out. You don't have to be real careful.
You what?
Robert couldn't see the camera, I guess. But yeah, you don't have to be real careful because you can't really screw up. It's not taking that long either. But I will say, I think one of the things I like about this is I love this mica gold, and I'm not a gold shimmery kind of person. So, yeah. But this gold paint, it is really awesome. And a shaky hand, I think, just makes it more interesting. I'm definitely going to do it again. Yeah, I like how it's turning out too, Joan. You think a Q-tip would be too soft? That's what I'm thinking too. It would have to be something maybe a little bit firmer, but it'd have to be something that could hold some ink so you weren't constantly dipping. I don't know. Actually, this fine liner, I'm glad I thought of it. This fine liner appears to be a perfect method, and I think they're fairly inexpensive, so you can get one. And if you wash them out, you can reuse them. You know, it's not like a use it once and trash it.
Oh, man.
Oh, I guess I should move this thing underneath so I don't burger it up with ink on it, right? Maybe the nib of an acrylic pen. I'm just trying to think. We could try that if you want to just see how it would work. It might work. All right. I'm going to let that sit and dry. Where's my lid? I might, oh, I see one I want to add here. And where a bunch of them connect, you might want to add some little bit more ink and make it a little bit more neurographic. All right, I will probably end up having to hit this. The boring as hell part starts here shortly, Barbara. I'm going to try real quick the nib of an acrylic paint marker. I'll just set this aside so I don't burger it up. What do I have here? I have a piece of, this is just text weight paper, so it's just going to be a small little demo. I feel like I'm going to be crinkling up a lot of paper. Well, see, I think you could iron it flat, Mary, but still see the creases. And this may be just too lightweight a paper, but we'll see. I'll end up with too much wrinklage. So I'll try and be a little bit careful. And I'll use one of the Sharpie pens because those you all can get, I think, down at the Walmarts. I've got two different kind here. One is like a bullet nib, and one is a brush nib. Let's do the brush nib. Yeah, so you get a lot of paint there, but yeah, I'm not sure this is, maybe I do need the heavier weight paper. Or if I use just the very point of the brush, maybe I could. I think you could do it. I think it would be different. Okay. So you could do, I know, Dee Dee really started something, right? All right. And then let me, I'll show you what Mary too was talking about. I'll just grab a colored ink pad. And I'm sure you guys have all seen this, where you just take your ink pad and rub lightly over the creases. Not exactly the same sort of effect, but definitely you could do some fun stuff with this. I've done this a lot. And this is a not permanent. On one of the tissue paper ones that I did, I did that where you got just really the high parts. I'm doing the bullet nib. I think it works. Okay, I can try the bullet nib. And then just to kind of spread it out a little bit, I hit it with a, yeah, see, it's not working the same. On the tissue paper, that ink just started melting. It was very cool. Oh, rubbing pad, new to you. You've never seen that? To rub a stamp pad? This has spread a little bit, but not like it did on the tissue. On the tissue, it was very cool. It just kind of spread out all over, but still left the high points dark. So, yeah, crumpled paper is not a new technique, but the way that artist on IG did it, it was definitely new to me for sure. So now, yeah, now you could draw on this. You could use it as a background, whatever you want. And I could crinkle it again, you know, iron it flat, crinkle it again, and get new creases. So you could add, you know, another color to that. Let's try the bullet nib. With super tips. Well, we could try that too, Christina. See if the super tips would work. Look at us being all inventive and stuff. And you can't press it flat or you're not going to get the same effect. So you use this bullet nib one. Oh yeah, you can get the fine lines with the bullet nib. Good idea. Okay. So if you've got these Sharpie, I can't remember which are which. I bought them at 2 different times. And honestly, I wish Sharpie would come out with more colors of these. Sharpie makes awesome products, I think. And I'm not pushing. I mean, I'm barely letting it touch the paper, you guys. So yeah, if you don't have the gold mica ink. Oh, now see, I goofed up. So, but yeah, if you just run it right across the ridges of the crinkles, you can get the same effect. And I think you could go back and be more intentional if you want some darker areas. So yeah, just use your products. And it's harder to get the concave wrinkles. So you'd have to go back in and get those more intentionally. But yeah, just to get the high points, this is working good. Good idea, Christina, or whoever thought of this. Let's try, while we're just letting that sit and dry for a minute, let's grab a super tip. I think it's going to be a little, well, maybe not necessarily. Oops, see, you're going to have areas like that where you don't have that much control. So not that that's horrible. I mean, I think you could get the same effect. The thing is, you're just not going to get the concave wrinkles. You can get the high points, but not the low points. And I was doing the low points and the high points. But yeah, you could make this work. And I think this is just copy paper that I'm doing this on. I think your creases would be more pronounced if you use a little bit heavier weight. So if you have a pad of mixed media paper, I don't think I would recommend cardstock. Cardstock is too hard to crumple. So yeah, try your other products. What the hell? I don't know why I crumpled that back up. All right, let me hit this with a heat gun. It does dry surprisingly fast, but let me just hit it real quick. I don't want to goof up now. I got too much invested. Right there where I added those neurographic dots, that's going to take a while to dry. I'll try real hard just to avoid them. But the rest of it's pretty dry. So if you want to work on it, save those neurographic dots for late. I should be able to work around them, I think. Noise pollution. Oops. Now, to Zentangle on this might be a little trickier. So I think I'll start by going in, and I'll just use the Uniball. I love this pen. I love this pen a lot. Go in and just add some of the smaller areas. Just black, surrounded by the gold. I think it's going to be awesome. But I think I'm going to do the actual Zentangle with a finer nib pen, so it just kind of is in the background. And save the bigger areas to do Zentangle in. Now, a question I would have to ask myself right now. Do I choose different Zentangle designs like I normally do? Or should I do one design spread out over the whole thing? This is kind of a cool thing because you can't really screw up, you know? Because if I don't like what I did, I'll just go put gold over it. And that gold ink that I showed, it is very opaque. So if you goof up and you want to make a correction, very, very easy to do. Very, very. Do different ones so I don't get bored. Depending on what I do, Dee Dee, I don't generally get bored doing that, but oop, I just almost touched some wet ink. It was cold. That one is still a little wet, I think. I might do some little bit bigger areas in just the solid black too. We'll see. I didn't make a whole lot of small areas, really. I guess small is relative, huh? I get to decide. I don't know why I'm doing this one because I think I'm going to curl that corner. Yeah, I think the Zentangle is going to be trickier than drawing on top of the ridges. It almost looks like marble Pick 3 designs and repeat them. That wouldn't be a bad idea, Starla. Do we have a new bossy butt? Well, Joyce, that could be. But you know what? I don't mind being bossed around by somebody who knows more than I do. So when it comes to Dee Dee being a little bossy, that's okay, because chances are, given the opportunity, she would kick my butt at anything I attempt. Just saying. This is one of those neurographic humps, so it may be wet. I gotta be careful. I don't have too many small areas. I may have to make some. I think I'm going to. Is that cheating? Bye, Joanne. Go have a great afternoon. Would that be cheating, you guys, if I add some extra one just because I like the way the darker circles work? It's just a little line here and there. Oops, look, it blew me a bubble. Yeah, now I've got wet ink again. Damn it, damn it, damn it. It's really wanting to run out now. Quit running out. I don't want you to run like that. Let me get a little. How did I forget that big old crease there? Yeah, this is just running out now. Let me shake it down. I vote different designs, but repeat a few. Okay. No, it's not cheating. Okay. The art police are coming. I hope they have on tight pants. Look at it's just puking out ink right now. What the heck? You can't do that. This is what gets me to hitting. Look at, I'm not even, it's not even, it's upright and it's puking out art. Stop that. Puking out ink. Why are you being so testy now, you little pain in the butt? It sounds like I'm talking to Jimmy. I haven't updated you guys on Jimmy. Jimmy is a very funny cat. I swear to God. He came in and has decided he is the boss of the world. And he is. And he has started this new thing. Usually after dinner, after I get done cleaning up the kitchen, I go out and turn on the TV in the living room, which I only turn it on in the evening. I never have it on during the day. I don't have anything on during the day. Anyway, he runs up behind me and headbutts me in the back of my legs. I don't know if it's because he doesn't want me to go sit on the couch or what it is, but he started headbutting me like if drooling wasn't enough. Yeah, I think there must have been Joyce. But yeah, Jimmy is, he's quite the little character. And I have to say, he brings me a lot of laughs. He's got a funny little personality. I don't think he apologizes to anybody about anything. He's just a hoot, really. And at first, remember, I think I told you guys, there's something wrong with this cat. You know, like my cat is broken. He doesn't nap all day. I think that must have been nerves, you guys, because now that he's settled down, he does nap more like I think a normal cat would nap. So he's not broken. I think he was just unnerved. But yeah, he's fit in just perfectly. He is the boss of the world. He owns everything. And I will give him credit because I did not want, I've never had a cat. I've only had a couple cats, but I've never had a cat that I let on the kitchen counter. And I wasn't sure how he was going to be, you know, because I didn't know how he'd been raised. And training an older cat probably is ridiculous to even think about contemplating. But I have to say, he got up on the kitchen counter one time, and I just said sternly, no, you get down. I didn't push him. I didn't touch him. I just talked to him very sternly. And he tried one other time, and he's not gotten back on the kitchen counter. So I'm really thankful for that, because I could not handle a cat on the counter. That was going to be a sticking point for me. But yeah, he's very cool with me telling him no, and then he doesn't do it again. Even though he's very motivated by food, but maybe my cooking doesn't smell that good. So it doesn't entice him to go places where I don't want him. But I'm very thankful for that, because I thought, boy, that's going to be a tough learning curve for both of us. But he's very compliant when it comes to that. So far, so good. And I don't believe in hitting a pad or anything like that. So, yeah, I didn't know. And I didn't really want to use a spray bottle. I've seen people do that. I've never had to do that. But yeah, he's been very compliant with my nose. So far, so good. And there really isn't too many places that I don't let him go. I don't care if he gets up in our bed. He doesn't sleep with us. He has no interest in sleeping with us. But when we're getting ready for bed, he'll come up and get on the bed. But as soon as lights out, he's gone. I don't know what he does all night. He goes out and carouses. And he can't get outside. So the girl cats in the neighborhood are all pretty safe. He's been fixed. So yeah, Jimmy has worked out better than I had hoped, you guys. I really wasn't sure when I agreed to do that. I thought it would be good for us and good for him, and it's turned out to be a good thing, I think. And I can't see it changing at this point, knowing that he's pretty darn agreeable, that cat, would Dee Dee say. She calls him Julie or something. He explored the counters while you were asleep. Well, now that's entirely possible, Dee Dee. He could be up here when I'm asleep, but one of the last thing I do before I go to bed at night is wipe the counters down, so there's no odors or anything on there. And I put all the dishes. That's how I used to know what the kids did after I went to bed at night. They're so dumb. Because it's just a habit before I go to bed. I just make sure the kitchen is tidy for when I get up in the morning, because if I got up to a sink full of dishes or food on the counter, I would lose my stuff. I mean, I would go cuckoo. So it's just the last thing I do. I make coffee, wipe down the counters, put anything away, you know. So when I get up in the morning, it's always just like I left it at night. But the kids used to, like, make peanut butter sandwiches, whatever they did, but they never cleaned up. So I knew exactly what they'd done all night long while I was sleeping. And if I'd say something to them, how'd you know? Because you left the knife with peanut butter in the sink. You didn't rinse it off and put it in the dishwasher. You left the peanut butter on the counter with the lid off. That's how I knew. So, yeah. But yeah, he could be getting up there at night. He's going to be terribly bored, but I don't know what he does at night. I suspect he just finds a fun place to go take a little cat nap. But Dee Dee's probably right. He's probably laughing at me, going, she's up in bed and I'm down here on her counter. She's up in bed and I'm down here in the refrigerator. He's a very spoiled cat. You clean before you go to sleep. That's just always been a habit. I couldn't change it now if I wanted to. We had a cat that loved poster donuts. He would get up and donuts all over and blame the kids for a while, and then we figured it out. Oh, powdered. Oh my God, that is funny. I have not fed him any. Oh, I got to show you this. I sent it to Dee Dee last night. We're gonna take a little break here. This is funny. This is really funny. But yeah, I have not fed him any people food. I did buy him some soft food because I don't know if it was nerves, if he eats too fast. I don't know what was going on, but he was puking up his food after I fed him. And he eats expensive food. So I was like, I'm not going to buy you expensive food and then have you puke it all over the place. That's not going to happen. So I did buy him some soft food, and he's only puked once since I have done that. Okay, I sent this to Dee Dee. Can you guys see it? Look at these cats eating corn. Oh my God. I did not know that cats love. Hi, Kellyanne. Anybody I missed? Look at these cats going crazy over corn. Now I want to do that. I want to try it, but I don't want to get him. I don't want to get him used to eating any kind of people food. I don't need that. But look at these cats. So I sent this to Dee Dee and said, get Ollie and Mally some corn. I'm going to turn Jimmy into a drooling chipmunk. I didn't know cats love corn either. But there's a part of me, a small part, mind you, that wants to get some corn and feed it to Jimmy and see if he goes cuckoo like those cats do. But apparently cats love corn. Who knew? That's wet right there, so I'm going to be very, very careful. All right. There's not very many. I'm almost afraid to put my hand down. I'm going to goof it up somehow. I'll pick a dry corner and do some Zen-tangle. I wonder if I should get my Zen-tangle book out and look for designs. I think I'm mostly going to do repetitive. And I think I'll use, let's see if this pen will work. This is a real fine nib. I think it says 3/8. It, in my world, works more like a 0.3 nib. Okay. Can you guys see okay? Oops, just put my finger in some wet spot, so I got to be careful. I'm going to burger this bad boy up. All right. I think it's going to be a little bit harder to Zen-tangle. Now, if I was going to, yeah, it's goofing with my pen, but that's okay. We're going to do the best we can. If this pen's going to skip, that's going to hack me off. And I don't know if I should outline the edges. Oh, let me pull you guys in. You know, I seen something on TV without making dog food with mixing garbage and cardboard and stuff. What? What's that? It's good to... All right, now I got to go read about feeding the cat. I would have had a cat that would come running every time I opened a can of corn. I would give her a spoonful. Funniest thing ever. Jimmy crack corn. That's funny, Barbara. Oh my God, I love that. Um, all right, Joe Lou, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. It's good to hear, let them have some of what they eat. They take their food's not that good. I mean, I'm just trying to let you know it's your choice. Are you saying that, okay, this cat, a little bit of human food is okay for dogs that seem not to be. I just, I'm sure he never ever got people food at the vets. I would just bet money. Um, and I'm not necessarily opposed to having him do it, but I don't need a cat with diarrhea and stuff like that either. So, yeah, there's that. Um, but are you saying that because he vomits that he's not liking the food? I think Jimmy, and I don't know why this would be, but he eats so fast and he doesn't chew it so that when he pukes it up, I'm getting um like the solid food and it's like science diet food. It's very expensive in my opinion. I always just fed my other cats food from the grocery store, whatever. But this stuff I have to order. Like you can't just run in and pick it up, or I can order it from the vet. Some lady 20 years old and had sardine supplement. Oh my God, I'm not going to mess with sardines. Do I have to do that? But yeah, but I don't know. I don't want him going around hungry. So that's another thing. When he vomits up his breakfast, then I have to decide, okay, do I feed him some more? Because I don't want him hungry. And that's what I've been doing. But when I'm watching this expensive food get puked up, that then I have to clean up, I'm like, cat, this ain't working for me. Think we could rethink this? Scarf and barf syndrome. That's exactly what it is, Brenda. He eats so fast, he's not tasting anything. But he seems very enthused with the new wet food that I bought him. Because the science diet, I mean, it has no odor, it has nothing. No, I'm saying is sardine supplements. Okay. And the reason I have been doing the food that I had been is one, the vet sent me home with a bag of it, which was very kind of them. They didn't have to do that. But then I said, well, I'll just continue ordering what he's used to, because I didn't want his stomach upset and I didn't want him vomiting and I didn't need diarrhea. So, yeah. I'm wondering, what do you guys think? Should I be outlining the gold? Try a slow feeder dish that is for foods. I've seen those. Yeah, he's doing better, Dee Dee. And I don't, it's not even the price of the food. Um, that's not what changes my behavior. I mean, if he wouldn't be vomiting it, he could have as expensive a food as he want. I'd just take it out of Robert's food budget. But I'm not going to buy this expensive food and then watch it end up on the floor. That just absolutely kills me. I can't deal with that. But otherwise, I'll buy him whatever works for both of us, You had a dog do that. I had to get a special dish with like a maze inside the bowl that made him slow down. I've seen those. So I don't know. And he doesn't get a whole lot of food, That was another thing. They told me how much to feed him when I brought him home, and it was like, that's not enough food for anybody. But he's chunky. He is a little chunky monkey. All right, this one we're just going to try to outline the gold. Now this could get very tedious, but we're going to try it anyway. I think I'm going to like it if it's outlined better. Oh, you know what? Well, but I don't want the graphite to burnish the gold. Ugh. Because one of the best things about Zentangle is the shading that you add to it. So I guess just another little experiment. And I don't know what kind of bowl he had at the vet. I really don't know. But the one guy did tell me, Levi told me that he does occasionally vomit up his food. Well, I don't know if that meant once a week, twice a week. I don't know. And they eat a lot more because they're not getting the nutrients. See, I don't. There's so much I don't know. My other cats just ate what I fed them. They were happy. They weren't little hogs. I'd like to just be able to put some food out and let him eat at his own pace, you know? All right, I do like the outline better. All right, I'm going to go ahead and outline this one too now, since I did that. And maybe with the dark line, I won't have to do the shading because the graphite will definitely burnish the gold. Can you guys see the gold on camera good enough? And the nib of the pen really just glides along that gold. It's just humpy enough. Okay, there you go. All right, let's try this. Maybe, where's that little one? Here it is. Let me sharpen this bad boy real quick. You can see the gold. Okay, good. I don't know. We'll get it worked out. He's a happy cat, and I'm a happy cat owner. So, yeah, all is good in the world. And him and Robert get along good. Now, he's definitely chosen me as his person, which I'm not surprised. I would pick me as my person, too. But I'm definitely Jimmy's person. But he's good with Robert. When he wants some hugs, he'll go over and push on Robert to I won't make you guys watch this the whole time, but if I decide to do the graphite. Oh, and I did put in my Blick order. So, yeah. So I'll be getting a bunch of replacement pencils for my Prismas. And I don't think I really ordered too much other fun stuff. I'm trying to think. I bought a set of small, and I think they're Sakura. I don't remember now because I looked at several different ones. Maybe they were Copic. But anyway, gray and brown pens in different nib sizes. They're like a set of 4 pens or something. So I ordered them. And those Daniel Smith art watercolor sticks, those have really gone up. I was going to buy a couple of those because I wanted the Payne's Gray. There was one other color. They're like $10 now. So the price of those has really gone up because I think I paid closer to $5. And I know I did get them on sale, but still double the price. Yikes. All right, let's go ahead and give it a little bit of a highlight here because you won't even notice it, but your brain will see it. Come on, right? I'm about ready for a new panda fly. All right, what other Zentangle do I want to add? I'm going to pick a few and then just go around and repeat them. I think I'm really going to like this, you guys. But I think one thing I would recommend is if you're going to do the Zentangle on it, I think I would flatten the sheet and make it a little easier to draw on. That's one thing I would do. Because I feel like I'm fighting the creases. But I think if you just dampen it a little bit and set some books on it or something, you could crush the creases right out or iron it. I don't think the heat would affect the gold ink at all. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Dale, I just pulled a sheet out of the B mixed media pad that you can get down at the Walmarts. I think you want a little bit heavier than text weight. And so, and I don't think you want to use cardstock. I think cardstock is too heavy and text weight is too not heavy enough. So, yeah. This pencil that I'm using, I've used it for shading for years. And it was in the dollar bin. You know, I don't know. Does Michael still do it? I have not been in a Michael's in years. Does Michael still have the dollar bins? But this was a Mary Engelbright pencil that was in that dollar bin at Michael's. And look at, I've absolutely, for shading, this is one of the best pencils ever. It's a really, really soft lead. And I don't know why this pen is all of a sudden not wanting to work, because I've been bragging on your worthless butt. And now you're not being agreeable with me, and that will really get me to hitting. I'll do it all at the end. I'm not going to fight with a pen on stream. There you go. And when I stream, I've been putting Jimmy out in the breezeway. He loves being out there. But if he was in here, I would be getting nothing done. He insists on undivided attention. And so for stream day, I just set him outside and say, go take a big old fat long cat nap, because I don't have time to snuggle you. He would be worse than Malibu. Like, I'm not kidding. Yeah, Jimmy doesn't get up here because he can't. He's not in the house. I put him out in the breezeway because I literally would get nothing done. Jimmy would be the star of the show, and that's all we do is look at Jimmy and his big fat butt. But no, he would be up here. He would be in my lap. He'd be headbutting me for hugs and smoochies. So, yeah. That's why Jimmy gets to spend afternoons out in the breezeway when I'm streaming. I'll bring him in and let you guys see him. He is a very handsome boy. I tell him that all the time. You're so handsome and fat. I love you. He is kind of a little fat boy. But if you tell him he's handsome and fat, his feelings don't get hurt. All right, I'm going to get my book out and we're going to look for some other Zen-tangle designs. I will repeat this more times, but we'll pick out another one to do here in just a minute. Hang on, I'm going to get the book and we'll look. You'd think I could remember them. Oh, I know another one that would look good in here. This design would look good too. We'll pick a little bit bigger area for that one, but I like that one. I'm going to try and keep them all kind of consistent, I think. So who's going to try this? Terry's probably already doing it, if I know Terry. If you plan this right, this would make a really cool journal cover. Got quiet. That's a cool one, huh? Focus, you freak. Sorry, I didn't know I was out of focus. You're already doing it? That's awesome. I'm glad I decided to outline the areas where I'm going to Zentangle. And I'm not sure how much white space I'll leave you guys. I just don't know. I guess there'll come a point where I'll go, okay, that's good enough. Because I don't intend to fill up every square. You're mesmerized? I do try and keep the lines somewhat straight when I'm doing this design. And then because I've done this now I have to decide, do I keep them all going the same direction or make them go different directions? Because when they're directional like that, it might make a difference. I like that design a lot. I'm going to keep them all going one direction. Simple solution. Oop, I got to go around the edge. So I hope this isn't too tedious for you guys. And if I do obscure some of the gold, I will go back at the very end and put it back in. I might do that. I don't think I have yet, but if I do, it'll be easy to go in and correct. So that's a good thing. I'm glad that little hump of gold makes it really easy. Can you see okay now? Yeah, I would definitely say, though, flatten it because these wrinkles are making it a little bit hard. All right, pen. What's your problem? You don't like the paper, or are you running out of ink? Could be I rubbed it with my hands and I could have oil on my fingers. There is a girl on Instagram who does Zentangle, and she always wears gloves because you don't realize what a little bit of oil on your hands will do to your pens. Well, and just leaving oil on your art. I usually wash my hands before I come on stream, so yeah, the wrinkles are definitely messing with my... Just a heads up, you're either going to fight with the wrinkles or you'll have to iron it or something. I think ironing it would be fine. I don't think it would mess with it. You'd still see the wrinkles just fine. Yeah, see, there's something going on. It's relaxing while you're coloring. Cool. Oh, come on. Let me find a sheet of paper that doesn't have my oily mitts on it. Yeah, I've got oil or something on there. Because right this section, and I did rub that pretty good to try and flatten it. So another reason to look at, doesn't even want to write. Get it on a different paper, writes fine. So probably oils. Cool. Yeah, they look cool. All right, I'm going to try. Let me see. I actually do have a white glove that I could use, but I think I'll use a napkin wherever I'm going to draw next. See if I can flatten it without getting my greasy mud mitts on there. Maybe it doesn't like the finish. I don't have another ballpoint 3 nib. I don't want to fight with the damn pen, but that's what it looks like I'm going to do. Oh, I forgot to go around the edge. Ah! Now see, that's not oil because I didn't rub it with my oily mitts. The pen's just being a pita. Hi, Miss Allie. How are you? I don't see you around much anymore, but I appreciate you coming to the streams. Trying to think of what other alternatives I have to this pen, because I don't like fighting with a pen. My least favorite thing to do, but I'm excited to get my Blix order. And I did. I waited to order until I got enough stuff to clear the free shipping threshold. That's what a tightwad I am. So I probably ordered stuff that I would not have ordered this soon. Some of them, most of them were just pencils. All right. Let me try the Hybrid Technica. This is a 0.03, but it's about the same. This used to be my favorite pen in the world, the Hybrid Technica. But I switched to this one because this ink is permanent when dry. Been on the phone with pension department regarding your pension check since 9 a.m. What? That is insane. That's very insane. Of course, you're West Coast, aren't you? But still, something was either really goofed up or I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Maybe that pen just didn't like the paper. I don't know. But this one seems to be more agreeable. And since I won't be getting this wet, it won't matter that it's not permanent. But so many times I start something and I don't intend to get it wet, and then at the end I've got ink smearing, so I try and just go with permanent. You're in California, that's what I thought. So, but that's still a couple hours. I would have had to just tell him, figure it out and call me back when you figure it out. This may take me a little while to finish, but I'm going to finish this. And this one I definitely will post. Most of them I don't post because I think they're not that big a deal. But I need to get better about posting because Dee Dee's yelling at me. I can't deal with Dee Dee yelling at me. I like it. Oh no, Devin, I spilled water on my coloring book. Oh no. Did you use a heat gun on it? Heat gun. Dry that bad boy off. This is sweet. It kind of looks like if I did the whole thing one design and just did it here and there, it would look like areas of the page just torn out and you're seeing what's underneath it. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Miss Sally, when Dee Dee yells, she means business. Pay attention. The other one I'd like to do, or should I keep them all just much line? No, screw it. We're not giving ourselves ridiculous rules. How about that? I'll go ahead and add another one of these over here. I'm going to do 3 of each and then decide if I repeat them or keep adding more designs. I don't want a bunch of crazy designs. I think it'll be better if I keep it to a minimum. You guys, I have nothing planned for dinner tonight. And I was thinking, my whole world is motivated by iced coffee. And I got thinking, you know what, if I went and did some takeout, or we just actually went into a restaurant, which we haven't done in ages. I could go over to Sonic and get iced coffee for morning. So I'm sitting here figuring out if I want to drive into town, which is about 40 miles round trip, so I can have iced coffee in the morning. But I would also get dinner for tonight. You guys see what motivates me? Iced coffee motivates me. Maybe that's what we'll do. It'll be something different. I'm thinking about going to Joplin this week too. There's some things I would really like to have from Sam's Club. This feels kind of like trash or something, you know, because it's been crumpled up. I actually really like that feel. All right, I'm going to try something on this one. Remember I said I didn't really want to burnish the gold, but I can go back and add it in. But on these that look like you've just torn out a piece of the paper and you're seeing what's underneath, I think that could be very appealing. And so to really create that illusion, and I'll see if this burnishes the gold to the point that it's noticeable. Really shadow the edges. I like that. All right, we're going to try it on another one. Oh, I did do it on this one. I just didn't burnish it. All right, all right. Not an original idea. Try and stay away from that gold as best I can. I might have to go get a new white panda fly. All right, I don't want you falling over. Yeah, see, I like that dark around the edges. You make your own iced coffee. I do too, Artful, but it's still not as good as Sonic iced coffee. I'm just saying, for real. Their cold brew coffee is so flippin' delicious. And I have started cheating. One night, Robert and I had gone somewhere in the evening, which we're never out after dark, ever, but we were out that night. And so I had to drive through town, coming back from where we'd been. And I thought, oh man, I wish I could stop and get some iced coffee for morning. And I'd mentioned it to, let's see what she would be, granddaughter-in-law. And she used to work at Sonic. And she said, well, just order it without ice and put it in the refrigerator. And then in the morning, pour half of it out and add ice to it with a little bit of sweet cream. And it'll be just like you order it. It's like, girl, you're brilliant. Brilliant. So I've been doing that. Ordering it without ice and then adding ice when I get it home. Works perfectly. Okay, I will be doing this. I will be shading the edges. What's the red handled item? Oh, this is a pencil out of the dollar spot at Michael's, a Mary Engelbride. It had Mary Engelbride art on it. And then this is a monkey shoved up his butt. The pencil shoved up his butt. because I am a 12-year-old boy, and that's what you do. You get a monkey that you can shove a pencil up his butt. You have 20 iced coffees in the fridge. Want some? They're Starbucks. Well, look at you, Dorothy, being all fancy schmancy. Um, I'm going to be real honest here, Dorothy. I cannot stand Starbucks. I've had one in my life, maybe two, but I think it's more one. I bought my niece one time when we were at Barnes and Noble. They had a Starbucks in the store there. I thought it was the worst tasting freaking coffee I'd ever had, and I couldn't imagine people paying that much for that garbage coffee. So there you go. Now, Sonic, theirs is completely different. That's a whole different deal. But I am not a fan of Starbucks. Anybody else here not a fan of Starbucks? I think their coffee is horrible. Not to mention incredibly expensive. I mean, I don't even know how many ounces are in that Route 44 cup, but there's a ton of coffee in there for $4. No, not a fan of Starbucks. But if you like it, good on you, girl. Katie doesn't like Starbucks, yeah. One time we'd gone to, let's see, Albuquerque, and to see some friends of Robert's. And the guy's name was Skip. I think Skip has passed away. But anyway, he loved to go to Starbucks for his coffee in the morning, hot coffee, just regular coffee. So while we were there, Robert went with him. Poor Robert came home and said, "That is the most awful coffee I've ever tasted in my life." And so he went the following mornings, but he told Skip, he said, "Just don't order me any coffee. That stuff's horrible." He hated Starbucks. It tastes like they include the grounds in it or something. I don't know. It's not good, though. You like Starbucks, but only for pumpkin spice. The coffee is very bitter. Exactly, Esther. But if you ever get near a Sonic's and they're in the South, try one of their cold brew. Not all of this Sonic's has them now. They don't have them at the Joplin stores anymore. But fortunately, the Grove store is going to continue to carry them. Yeah. They are very, very tasty. And ask for a little extra sweet cream. They might charge you for it, but don't worry about it. Pay it because it's worth it. Okay? And I don't mind the iced coffee that I make at home, but it's just not Starbucks. And I did find some sweet cream at Sam's Club that is really delicious. So I can make it at home. I just like Sonic better. And since I don't buy shoes and purses and stuff like that, I've heard Tim Hortons coffee is good. I don't think they had Tim Hortons back when I used to go to Canada. I don't remember a Tim Hortons. But yeah, I understand their coffee is also very delicious. And I don't spend money on shoes or handbags or even clothes. Well, you can tell I don't buy clothes. I just don't spend money on stuff that other people spend money on. So if I spend money on iced coffee, I feel completely justified doing so. It's kind of like Dee Dee with Chick-fil-A. If she wants to go every day for all the stuff that she's not buying, you go, girl. You go. All right. I like the shading around the opening. It makes it look like you're getting a peek at something that's behind there. Okay, and I've got 1 hour. It's 2 o'clock. I might just drive into town and eat out tonight. That would be so different for us. Like it? I like it. It's noon already for you. You were on the phone all morning, Belinda. All right, how much of this would you guys fill in with designs? I'm just curious. Just curious. I don't know at what point my brain is gonna say, okay, stop, enough. That's kind of what I think will happen, is at some point I'll just go, okay, I'm done. That's good enough. Or if I stop, is it gonna look incomplete, you know? All right, this is the other design that I was thinking I would add. Now this works better with a little bit thicker nib pen, but we'll see how it goes. But after I've introduced it, I've almost committed, you know? It's not like I can go back and undo it later. But this is also one of my very favorite designs. So simple, yet so useful. Yeah, I love the ice from Sonic too, Christina. I ordered one the very first time I did that. I bought a bag of ice, and I agree with you. Their ice is flippin' delicious. But because the drive was so long, it had started melting, so that when I put it back in the fridge, it all stuck together. So I thought, well, before I do that again, I need to think ahead and take a cooler with me so it doesn't start thawing, because breaking that apart after it had frozen back together again was really kind of a pain in the ass and made it not very much fun. But yeah, I agree with you. There really is not much better than Sonic Ice. And if you're an ice chewer, which I am not, in fact, if you chew ice around me, I will punch you in the face. And I may or may not warn you first. And Robert, with this dementia issue that he's got going on with no memory, he knows that I cannot stand ice chewing, but he forgets now. And so I have to warn him. Do you want to get your face punched in? Why? Because you're chewing, and I can't stand chewing. It makes me irrationally angry, and I won't even feel bad when I punch you in the face. So that's going to be an issue going forward. So I thought, well, the solution to that is just don't buy Sonic Ice. Make sure you dump the water out before freezing it. Well, see, it's not running water. It's just everything's a little bit soft. It's crushed ice. Sonic Ice is crushed. It's not like there's water. You're an ice chewer? Oh my God. Keeks, I'll warn you once, and then I get to hitting. Not kidding. Sorry, not sorry. I will punch you in the face. And I won't apologize because I will have warned you. Just saying. I know a lot of people are ice chewers. And there used to be a saying about that. Well, not a saying, but just people used to say that if you chew on ice, you were lacking something in your diet. I don't think that's true at all. I think it's just a habit, you know? You're either an ice chewer or you're not. I'm not. But it makes me irrationally angry. And there's a name for that, misanthronia or something like that. Unless someone else is paying my rent, I ain't justifying my spending habits to nobody. I don't know. I think many of us have reached an age in life where things that we would have spent money on as young people just are no longer of interest. For example, if I have to buy something for the house, that's like punishment. Like, I'm not even kidding. Where when I was younger, I loved to go shopping for the house. And yeah, not anymore. Like, but now you put some art supplies out in front of me. Baby, Katie barred the doors. We're buying it. Probably more than one of it. And we're not apologizing. Is that how you say that saying? Katie barred the doors? I think it is. I honestly wish I wasn't that way though, Devin. You know, where because feeling irrationally angry, you know it's irrational. It's not something you should be angry about, but you feel completely justified. And punching is definitely on the menu. But I don't like that feeling. I really wish I wasn't that way, but I am. And I'm that way about certain other sounds, like slurping soup or coffee. That will also get me to punching. Your mom used to chew ice cream and then found out she was iron deficient. After her hysterectomy, she stopped craving. That's crazy, Miss Allie. Maybe there is some truth to that. I always thought it was, I thought that was just old wives' tale nonsense. Somebody's sending me a bunch of stuff. Let's see. It might be Jamie. He's at the farm, I think, this week. And he loves to send me pictures from his farm. Oh, no, it's Nathan sending me pictures of chickens. And Tina. Tina's laughing at me. You'll bar the door for me? Okay, good. My brother would walk out if anyone ate raw celery. Okay, so he had some sort of misinphonia too. If you chew ice around me, I will punch you in the face. Tina's warning you. She's more of a throat grabber. You don't chew ice, but I have to have lots of ice in my water and other drinks. I love Sonic Ice. Yep, Sonic Ice is the best. And I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. Can't stand slurping, loud chewing, or shut. Yep. See, I think we all have those weird things that I don't know. I don't know how to explain them. Another thing. Now this is irrational and stupid, but when my brother and I were young, everything he did pisses me off. Everything he did. Didn't matter what it was. And I think it's because of him that to this day I cannot stand feet. Because he had the ugliest feet in the world. But he would say certain words that, honest to God, would be like chewing ice to me. One of them was beef. I don't know why the word beef, but only when Don said it. Now, you could say beef to me and I'd be okay. But the way my brother said beef, it would make me so angry. And the other word he said that would just get me to hitting, I mean, I'd want to kill him, was parched. Who in their freaking right mind uses the word parched? Like he's thirsty? Parched? Yeah. I'm parched. Oh my God, it would make me insanely angry. So when he figured that out, of course, those two words I heard incessantly. So I never should have let him know that that bothered me. But it was more the words coming out of his face would just get me where I literally would want to kill him. Now, when we grew up, we're best friends now. But honestly, when he was probably a teenager then, and he was overweight. So he annoyed me because of that. But yeah, if he said beef or parched, I would go cuckoo. And my dad would just laugh at me because Dad, tell him to stop. He'd just laugh at me like, those are words. What is wrong with you? And I'd be like, I can't stand when Don opens his mouth. Life was rough for me. Like, I'm not even kidding you. But he was the only one like that. And then you want to hear what I used to do to my other brother? God, I don't know how I lived to be this age. My brother that was older than me, Gary, he was kind of a jerk sometimes. But anyway, he had such a weak stomach. And it's kind of like Dawn saying beef or parched around me just to get me angry. Gary had such a weak stomach. One time he cut his foot in the neighbor's yard, and the sight of blood made him so sick he passed out before he got home, running across the street. But used to be, we'd have to, they changed this, but we used to have to sit at the dining room table until one of us agreed to clean the kitchen after dinner. And Gary and I always sat across from each other at the dinner table. And so we would sit there and try and outweigh each other. And finally, I'd get so tired of waiting, I would chew up my food and then wait until Mom and Dad and everybody else wasn't looking, and then I'd open my mouth and show him my chewed up food, and he'd get sick and have to run to the bathroom and leave the table. And then I knew I was doing the dishes because poor Gary was in the bathroom vomiting. If you think I didn't grow up in a monkey cage, you are so wrong. I grew up in a freaking monkey cage, I swear to God. I'm loving this. What's going on here? I'm wondering if I should pick some of the little bit larger areas just to fill in black. Because I tried to keep it to the real small areas, but now I'm kind of wondering if a few larger areas wouldn't work as well. Because I like the way they look. I know, Kat. You did not want to live with me. Gary used to make me so mad. But I have to say, Gary, on the other hand, I don't know how many times in my life Gary saved my life or stuck up for me. So that like other kids around would not pick on me because they knew Gary was my brother. So I had a protector, but yeah, I could be a horrible, mean little sister. Hi, Sherry. Yeah, see, I like the black areas too. All right, we're going to do some little bit larger black areas. Not real large, but just a few so they're more noticeable. And Gary passed away, so I don't talk bad about Gary because I always wonder what Gary would be like. He had just had his first granddaughter when he had his heart attack, and then he died a few years later. I think Gary would have been an awesome grandpa, and he never got the chance, and that makes me sad because he loved that little Peyton. Oh my God, he loved Peyton. So I might have to make some areas that I can color black. But I think that about Koki too. You know, he died so young. I'd like to just see him as an adult male and see if his retarded decision making ever got worked out. See, that's how it was with us too, Esther. We would absolutely torture each other, but that was the thing. We could torture each other, but you can't torture us. And then the older boys, they were always really, really nice to me because I was their baby sister. You were an only child. My mother was an only child. Robert Vaughn is an only child. Only children have their own issues, Allie. I swear to God. I see so many similarities between Robert and my mother in decision making, in just a lot of things. I used to tell a story. When you grow up with a bunch of people, and I'm sure it depends on the parents that you were raised with, but in my house growing up, and I've asked my brother this just to see if it was just me or were we all like that. When you grow up in a big family, you never eat the last of anything because, and I think it's just the way that our parents raised us, that don't eat the last one because there's a lot of people around here and they may want it. You know, somebody else may want it. So you never ate the last one. I am like that to this day. I will throw the last cookie away because I won't eat it. My mother and Robert Vaughn, they wouldn't think like that at all. If there was a cookie there and they wanted it, it's theirs. Where I would say, no, I'll leave it for somebody else. Isn't that funny? And that, it's not a bad thing. It's just something I've observed, you know. And I think kids who grew up with other kids are especially protective of their things. You always told people you were an only child. Yeah, well, we lived in a community where everybody knew that we were not only children. We were the Hellraisers. I really like the circle one. All right, so should I add more elements or should I stick with those and just spread them out? Y'all tell me. I'm thinking I want to stick with just those. I don't want to get it too busy. I was raised as an only child, and then when I grew up, I did 23andMe and found out I have a whole different dad and half siblings. Keeks, that's crazy. Oh, how do you deal with that? Your brother used to lick the whole tray of mini donuts so no one else would want them. Oh my God. Now I can see Dawn doing something like that. Or maybe I would do. Yeah, see, that's okay. I'm going to stick with these and then leave some blank spaces. I think that's what I want to do too, Devin. I was an adult at age 5. Really, Kat? I don't know. I think there's something different about our generation of people. This is what I think. I read on usually Twitter, not so much Instagram, people who were raised when we were raised will say our parents used to shove us out the front door in the morning and tell us not to come back until the streetlights came on. And I would say that was very true, that we almost raised ourselves. But another thing that was so different then is everybody knew us. Like if I misbehaved outside, well, we had a judge that lived across the street from us. And my mom always used Judge Pyle as a threat. Do you want Judge Pyle to put you in jail? No. But another thing too is everybody's parents could discipline everybody's kids. So I didn't misbehave because Mr. Tinsley would kick my ass just like my dad did. So you were the 8th of 8. You were the baby. You had 0 rules at all, Christina. You are a freaking wild monkey is what you are. He used to beat me up and then make me help him develop photos. Aww. Hubby always leaves the smaller crumbles of potato chips for me. he'll sit with an open bag and eat them until he gets to the smaller bits and then leave them for you. Oh my gosh. Seeing Robert, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about Robert at all. I think it's just his mindset. If his mother brought treats home, they were for him. He didn't have to share. Where if we had treats, we had to share. And if it wasn't easy to distribute among the number of kids at home, you always had to leave something for somebody else. But another thing too, say I had used my own money, or maybe even mom had bought it for me, whatever. But say I had a candy bar or something, I could leave that candy bar on the living room table and nobody else would touch it. Because that was the worst thing in the world, I think, for my dad, is that you took something that wasn't yours or you hadn't asked for. You didn't assume that that candy bar was sitting there for you to help yourself. That would not have happened, which was nice. I mean, I'm not sure that we all followed the rules, but yeah, that was pretty much the way it was. If it wasn't yours, you didn't take it. And there were certain things that mom bought specifically for dad. Like she'd buy 2 bags of Oreo cookies, let's say. One of those was dad's. So you didn't eat dad's anything. Bye, Dee Dee. It's just funny. But Kat, that's probably why you felt like an adult at age 5. Because we did raise ourselves. I feel like we did. But also the neighbors were watching too. Like, and now people don't know their neighbors, so, and they don't let their kids go out in the front yard or ride their bikes to unknown places. We used to ride our bikes anywhere we wanted to go. And I didn't go home and ask. And we did drink out of the hose. I think we did have like rules about talking to strangers and stuff like that, you know. But another thing too is we had neighborhood kids so that you would have never found one of us alone. Like I didn't go to the mall by myself, but I'd go to the mall with a bunch of the neighborhood kids. You ran with sticks, no seatbelts, drank from the garden hose. See, Barbara, that was us too. It was just, yeah, you just did that. Okay, now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the circles. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Let me go ahead and add. I don't know how long this is going to take me to finish, but so far I'm loving it. And another thing we didn't do that I think kids nowadays, I know my nieces and nephews did it and it drove me crazy. We didn't tell on each other, you know. Like there was just some sort of pact that you just didn't tell on each other. That's the pen that doesn't like this paper. About stuff. Now, if we were fighting in the house or something like that, I'd maybe tell on my brother. But if something happened during the day when we were outside with zero supervision, you didn't run home and tell anybody anything about anything. I think they could threaten beating your ass and you still wouldn't tell on anybody. just different way things are now. Of course, we didn't have, and maybe we did and we just didn't hear about it. I mean, I think we knew don't talk to strangers, blah, don't go with a stranger, whatever. But I'm going to say that we didn't have the child abduction problem that you hear about now. Now, I don't think human nature has changed so much that, for example, I'm sure there were children being sexually abused when I was little, but you didn't hear about it. You didn't talk about it. We knew that there were weirdos that would maybe expose themselves to children, or men who dressed up in women's clothes, stuff like that. And I think everybody knew that it was out there, but it wasn't a thing, I never ran into any weirdos. And now it seems like we're just inundated with stuff like that. So has human nature changed that much? Or are we just more willing to talk about it now? I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. Your older sister would tattle. We rode our bikes all over Baton Rouge safely. See, I grew up in a suburb of Denver called Lakewood. It's between Denver, the city of Denver, and Golden, where they make beer. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, here's Barbara. Let's see what Barbara has to say. I don't know how long this is going to take Janet to finish, but so far it's as boring as hell. But then again, I still don't know what boring as hell is supposed to be. You're so funny, Barbara. And all I can say about that is boring as hell, and you're still here. What does that say? Because when I'm done, I'm going to have a cool piece of art. I hope some of you try this, because I am really liking the way it looks. And actually, there's a part of me that wants to order some resin and do this and turn it into permanently dimensional art. The problem with that is I won't know where to put it after it dries. I don't have a place for that. And I don't know an art gallery who's going to hang it on their wall to get it out of my house. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? And if I burnished the graphite and I dull the gold, I'll go back in and add the gold later. At the very end, I'll go in and make touch-ups if I have to. So far, I don't think it's a problem. I think it is that we are now explained in school to talk about weirdos, and with the internet, everything all the time. See, Keeks, that's what I wonder. Is it just that people have changed, or we just talk about stuff that we didn't used to talk about? I don't know. I really don't know what to think. And I'm going to be real honest, is I think it was better before we all started talking about it and letting it change our society. I know there are people out there who are weird with different proclivities, and I feel sorry for them, but I don't think as a society it's necessarily in our best interest to try and normalize certain behaviors. And I'll give you an example. Using language to alter our thinking. And the example I'm going to use is using MAP, minor attracted people, for what we would have called pedophiles. I think the phenomenon is real, but I think it's abnormal, and you should know that your behavior is harming those children. So you can't normalize it. I don't mind getting people help. If you're a minor attracted person, which I think is completely wrong to normalize that, and you're found out, as a society, it's in everybody's best interest to get you help. But it's not okay to say, well, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just a minor attracted person. That's great if you weren't harming somebody in the process, you pervert. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. If you don't like me for that, I'm sorry. This would be cool on a textured ceiling. I know some great works of art have been done on ceilings. You saying I'm Michelangelo, Barbara? Holy crap. Me too. I also think there are more places somewhere crazy and bad people. You've never heard that term before? Oh my God. You've never heard minor attracted people, that they want to call pedophiles maps? Minor attracted people? Yeah, see, that's what I think they're doing too, Kathleen. I think they're trying to use language to normalize abhorrent behavior, and make us seem like we're wrong for judging it. And I don't care what you do, but you can't go around hurting other people. If your behavior is a solitary behavior and you're the only one that's being affected by it, go for it. But you don't get to harm children and then make me use language that makes it acceptable. That won't happen. And I think more and more they're trying to do, control our language to make things more acceptable. That's funny that you've never heard that. Has anybody else never heard of minor attracted people MAP? It started kind of when they started doing the LGBTQ, like using initials rather than using the words. You hadn't heard of it either. The Man-Boy Love Association. Oh my God. Your brother knew how to manipulate you. Okay, so a lot of you have never heard that. Well, where the hell am I hanging out that I hear it? I can't believe so many of you haven't heard minor attracted people. And it's really just to normalize, in my opinion only, pedophilia. That somehow I'm supposed to be sympathetic. And I am. I mean, I truly am sympathetic with their plight because, one, it's not normal, but don't try and normalize it because what they're doing is hurting children. And that is where there's a rub. You just heard MAP last week. Okay, Kathleen's heard of it. Society has tried to normalize so much immoral behavior, it's so bad, without others making us feel in the wrong. I agree with you, Esther. You live in New York, you've heard it all. Yeah, see, well, and I'm living out here in the boonies in Oklahoma. So I can't believe that I'm hearing stuff that you guys aren't hearing. I'm thinking I want some more black areas. But it could be where we just get our news or whatever, too, But I tend to be, Barbara, you're so funny. You're better than I am. No sympathy from me. Nope. Well, I truly believe that being attracted to children is not normal. And if truly that's a real thing, you need help. And so to that extent is what I'm talking about, that being sympathetic. Now, if you've acted out on it and harmed a child, no, that's where the sympathy ends with me. But I didn't hear about it when I was a kid either. I don't know if any children around me were being abused. and society was maybe looking the other way or whatever. I don't know, but I'm sure that abhorrent behavior is not new. I don't think the behavior is new. I think it's how we address it that's new. And I think as a society, we need to come to terms with how are we going to handle it. I think there are treatments out there available that could be very useful. And if it's not that, then medicine. There are medicines that will tamper that behavior. Give them medicine. Yeah, see, I think that too, Kathleen. I think we talk about a lot of things now that in the past would not have been socially acceptable to bring up at all. Don't know if that's good or bad. I don't really know how I even feel about it. But you can't be an ostrich, like you can't stick your head in the sand. You have to know what is going on and the dangers it presents. So, at some point, I think you have to address certain subjects that would be incredibly uncomfortable. I don't get uncomfortable about too much of anything, to be honest. And I think most of us probably know the difference between right and wrong. And I'm just going to trust that most of us know the difference and behave accordingly or form opinions accordingly. And I guess the way I would decide that is, what does it say in the Bible? It is an illness to be pedophile, a type of mental illness, but don't believe they can be cured. I'm not sure they can be cured, but I think they could be I don't want to say instructed, but if they saw the harm that their behavior did to a child, they may alter their own behavior. The desire probably would never go away. I agree with that is just a built-in defect. And again, then they could be given medications that would quell that desire in them. There are those medicines. So now, is that fair? I don't know. I'm not sure that rehabilitation is part of the equation, Barbara. Some of these larger spaces, I feel like I want to break up into smaller spaces because I want it to be kind of balanced. Let me pull out. I'm liking this, you guys. I'm really liking it. I do want to, and I will put it out flat, but I like to curl the edges, like it's old. This might be really fun on like craft paper, older paper. But I suppose I could make this look older too if I ink the edges in brown. But I was thinking I want to curl the edges like that. And then get out my little handy dandy paintbrushola here, because I'm going to probably call it a day here pretty quick. But see how that's curled up? Oh, do I have water here? No. Oh, yeah, there's water. I have to clean my water all the time so the cat doesn't drink paint water. Of course, when I put this in a journal or someplace where I keep art, I'll have to crush this down. But see how it would look like the back side of the paper is gold. Cool looking, huh? There was a man in my neighborhood who would hire boys to do work around his house, and he molested a parent, and he killed himself. He had even approached your son. Wow, Esther. Yeah, I don't think it's that unusual, frankly, but as a society, I think it's something we need to address and figure out. What do you do if somebody is identified? Do you send them to a? Of course, we don't have mental institutions like we used to, but do you send them somewhere to get help? Because maybe if they just understood what it does to the children, that they abuse, because they're thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about what it's doing to those children. But maybe if somehow you could let them know that your behavior is truly impacting these children for a lifetime. It's not just an hour out of their day. It truly is a lifetime of anguish. I don't know what the word is, but it also impacts how they behave. And they do know this. I remember hearing this years and years ago, that boys who are molested tend to act out when they get older. So it's a never-ending circle. Rehabilitation teaches techniques, educates. It is not a guaranteed cure. No, I don't think you're curing anything. I'm not sure that there's a cure at all. Okay, see, that's what I was thinking. Now, if you were going to pour rosin on this and make it dimensional, you could keep those curled corners. I'm going to probably have to use some glue and just glue them curled like that, and then get them flat. So that was a weird topic for me to get into today. I wonder what got me there. Probably being out with no supervision. So I'll still be drawing more on it. But I don't want a bunch of stuff all close together, Like, I'm not sure when enough white space is enough. What do you guys think? Like, I'm thinking I don't want to draw a whole lot more on this. And I may darken up some of the, or widen, thicken the gold lines. I don't know yet, but I'm thinking I might like to do that. Yeah, because I don't want too much. I'm going to do one like this. And I probably won't do it this big. I probably should have cut this paper down, but I didn't, so who cares? Where I do only one design in the background, so it truly looks like there's tears in the paper, and you're seeing the underneath side. I think having different designs doesn't really allow for that, but what you're thinking is likely best. About how much white space. Seeing those curls will tend to stay like that when they start drying, and that's literally how long that paint's dry, or how quick that paint dries, because now that I painted it that way, it's going to want to stay that way. So, and some of these areas in here I may break up so that I can do designs in them, because right now, just looking at it in the camera, like I need something up here. But I mean, like that whole space is just too big. So I need to break up one of those spaces. And I don't want to get the gold out again, so. I don't mind doing these smaller areas like this, but I kind of got to pay attention to where all the weight is. This was a fun thing to try. Thank you, Dee Dee, for something new. Because now I'm going to want to do it again. And hopefully my brain will tell me when to stop. Stop! I need to stop doing so many big group swaps so I have time to do projects like this more. You do a lot of swaps? I used to. Well, I think Dee Dee and we're about the same age. So I think in our journey, we did a lot of the things at the same time. And I used to do a ton of swaps. And I found the swaps out of the back of Rubber Stamp Madness. And it was ATC swaps and stuff where they'd encourage you to use your rubber stamps and stuff. I haven't done them in years. Well, other than the swaps between the fibs, you know, I still do that. But some of those big areas I've got to, all right, I'm going to do something. I hope I'm not sorry. But I was trying to keep the black areas just in small. I think I'm going to do this one. And it's kind of a bigger one. And it'll tell me if I want to do more of that. Another thing I could do is say I don't like this big space that I'm going to color black right now. I could also come back in and put some small white dots in it and break it up if I turns out I don't like this. All right, what about a few bigger black areas? You like this idea, Dorothy? All right, you need to get on it, girl. Get on it. Now I'm going to add more black. Hope this isn't a mistake. And when you see this, and I'm not sure when I'll get it finished because I don't know if I'm going to Joplin this week, but some of the gold lines right now, I will thicken them. I will make the gold a little bit more prominent. You like the black? Yeah, see, I am too. Put it in a shadow box. Bossy butt, look at you being all over brilliant over there. That's why she's bossy butt, because she usually has some pretty good ideas that are hard to argue with. You could put it in a shadow box and keep it dimensional. It's a good idea, and then I wouldn't have to dust it. Look at her being all brilliant. I don't have any room space or wall space though either, but I could take down some of the old stuff probably. All right, I'll do some little bit more larger areas of black because I do like the black too. And I guess when I'm gonna know it's done is when everything feels balanced. That there's the same amount of black as there is design and white. That's what I think is when my brain is going to go, okay, that's good. Stop now. Before you get carried away, like CB would tell me. All right, now you've gotten carried away. Okay. Sucks to be me. All right, I'm going to probably go ahead and call it a day, decide if I'm going to take us out to eat or if I'm going to dig up some garbage around here. You know why I don't want to go? We have road construction on the bridge coming into the island, and so they shut down the traffic to one direction. And there's a stoplight where you have to stop and wait for the other lane to go the other way. That annoys me so much. So that's why I hate to leave, because I have to go through that damn traffic jam on the bridge. But really, if that's the biggest problem I have in life, somebody needs to tell me to shut up. Go take a nap, girl. You need a nap. You're just bitchy now. All right, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm really glad Dee Dee saw this. All right, I'm going to end a little bit early. And then I will post this, and I will link the girl where Dee Dee saw this and then turned me on to it. But yeah, this is cool, and I like it a lot. I'm glad you caught part of the live too, Esther. All right. You guys go have a great afternoon. Try and be kind. I know your time is valuable, and I truly appreciate you spending some of it with me. And watch to see this go up on Instagram. All right. Thanks, Terry. I'll see you guys around the interwebs. Adios, amigos.